Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to the main roster on Twitch Sports. We're here, as always, to discuss the latest comings and goings in World Wrestling Entertainment on their main roster shows, Raw and Smackdown. I'm Jez, joined, as always, by the wonderful Dan. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How about you?
Yeah, all right. Yeah, I'm coming to the end of the summer, obviously, so trying to eke out as much time as possible with the little one and get her ready to go back to nursery school in September. Give me some time, yes. But yeah, muddling on by. Convention on the weekend. Quite tired, but generally getting on with life. How's life in Casa Dan?
It's very good. I went camping this weekend, so had a good time. A few drinky poos and all that, so all good.
Yes, normally, obviously, you do this show with a cider in hand, and I decided to join you this week as it's.
I haven't had a cider actually.
Oh, you haven't got one this week. Oh, there you
Water.
go. Well, at least one of us is drinking then for the inevitable roll-ups and things. But I thought, being as this is my last stream for the time being in the Twitch Sports Accelerator program, that it was. Meritorious of a celebration and a bit of a drink. So cheers.
Absolutely. Cheers.
Cheers to you. Cheers to everyone who has contributed to all of my streams in this program. And cheers to Twitch Sports. It's been cool. It's been a good 6 months.
Good fun.
Moving on to new things, new ventures, new ideas for this podcast and all of the other sports podcasts. So stay tuned for that. Yeah. Shall we crack straight in to a little bit of news? What do you reckon?
Yeah, let's do a bit of news.
Okay. Roll that, not a sting, but is your singing voice. Beautiful. So, our first bit of news is kind of old news, brought back again. And you may remember back in the day, NXT Season 3, the absolute nonsense that was pulled by Michael Cole on commentary and just being a crazy fool, building mostly towards his heel turn and facing the King at WrestleMania and all that kind of stuff, and was just being as outrageous as possible. Said some pretty damn offensive things about all of the ladies that were in NXT Season 3 and women's wrestling in general. Well, in a recent interview, it turns out that Michael Cole once apologised to Caitlyn for that nonsense that he pulled on NXT Season 3. When she came back to WWE for that one-off Mae Young Classic tournament, she sat down with Michael Cole, and he said, where is the direct quote? Can't find it now. Just says it did say that he apologised, but I can't find the exact wording. I had the opportunity to sit down with Michael Cole. I think he might have felt a little bad because he was the main commentator on NXT and he was so mean to us. As a commentator, you have so much ability to shift people's perspectives and mindsets, yes, and he just bleep on us so much. It was funny, but it also made us feel like bleep, and other people bleep on us because of it. And it just added more to the concept that the Divas matches were bathroom breaks, etc., and it didn't add to our cause. Yes. So when he apologised, I think it sounds like Caitlyn was pretty magnanimous about it and shared no ill will. But if you followed her Instagram, you probably know that she's pretty damn chill, to be honest. She's doing her own thing now. She's got her own line of sportswear and is just generally a chill person. But it's nice to know that there is some remorse there from Cole, at least.
Yeah. It's nice of him.
Chaotic Gabs, welcome in. Thank you very much for the follow. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah.
And there was another thing that made me laugh, and I don't remember this. I'm meant to go back and watch it. But here we are anyway. There was a battle royal on Raw in 2012.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently Caitlyn wasn't supposed to win it. But because of mishap, she did win it. In a match with Eve Torres. So it came down to the spot. I clotheslined her, but she didn't go over. I didn't do it hard enough. And she held on and was like, do it again. Talking in the ring, nothing new. I came back and JBL'd her, which is a great term, over so hard that she let go. She fell on the floor and got eliminated. I literally knew I was going to get fired. We were just standing there. It was a true reaction to what happened. Nobody expected me to win. I didn't expect myself to win. This wasn't supposed to happen. And so referee Brad Maddox, who you may remember, who was refereeing his first match at the time, had Vince and the producers in his ear, and they're like, celebrate. So after the segment ended, I walked back to Vince, and he was laughing hysterically. Eve was crying. Fit was laughing. They were like, okay, let's go. And then she was number one contender because of an accident.
Brilliant.
So it's nice.
Brilliant.
Nice little story. I like stories like that. Yeah. Thanks to eWrestling News for that one. I know nothing about wrestling. Have a great stream. Sports Excel program hype. Thank you very much, Chaotic Gabs. You're very welcome to just hang out and lurk and take in any wrestling knowledge that we can impart, which is some. Moving on.
Small.
Now, this one's going to annoy me, I think. There is some rumour, and it's based on the fact that there are dark matches happening, and things seem to be headed in that direction, that WWE is looking to repackage Keith Lee. He's been working Raw and SmackDown dark matches as of late in a way to refine him, whatever that means, and decide what works best for him moving forward.
Right.
Best for him. I'm not sure about that, but why though? Also, hi. It's a very good question, Stelios. This is my thinking as well. Why though is a very good question. In an update, Wrestling Observer reports that Lee is being brought to Raw and SmackDown for dark matches because officials are trying to change his style and give him a new character. Again, why? They also want him to practice more in front of fans. Hey, kind of thought that was what NXT was about, but okay. It has been reported how Lee has played the role of a heel in some of his recent dark matches. Regarding the aforementioned character change, it was reported by WrestlingNews.co that WWE Chairman and CEO Vince McMahon had considered turning Lee into a monster heel for the main roster.
Right, okay.
Great. Yeah, because we haven't had any of those. Lee continues to get babyface reactions during these dark matches, but it looks like he could be booked as a heel when he returns to TV. And yeah, he was only on TV because Jeff Hardy got COVID and they needed somebody to face Karrion Kross. And he demolished a jobber in 90 seconds. Whenever this was. Last Monday.
Yeah.
Last Tuesday. What do you think of this?
Jobber he demolished.
Does Keith Lee need to be repackaged? What do you think?
No.
And again, this comes down to the conversation we've been having over the last few weeks about how no wonder the NXT people haven't got over, because as soon as they've got up to the main roster, they've wanted to fundamentally change every single thing about them and the character that worked for them in NXT. It's no wonder they haven't worked.
Yep.
Like, it's just so dull. It's like, oh, he's a big guy, let's make him into a monster heel.
I know.
When the guy's got charisma. Like, he's probably one of the more intelligent people on the WWE roster, full stop. He's a very intelligent guy.
Isn't he?
He's very cerebral. He can definitely like hold his own in any kind of promo or conversation or interview or any of that kind of thing. Despite his size, he is super athletic. I don't get why we have to force everyone into the slow, slightly dull WWE style. More on that in a match discussion later. I'm just whatever, man. Keith Lee's great, and he's not going to be when he comes back, apparently. So there's that. In more sad news, John Cena is super sad, quote, about Dave Bautista's comments distancing himself from other WWE stars. Did you hear about this news?
Oh, I haven't.
Basically, Batista was asked some questions in a Q&A on Twitter, and when he was asked if he'd like to star in some movies alongside people like John Cena and The Rock or The Miz or any other wrestler turned actor, he replied, "Nah, I'm good." And yeah, so John Cena's not very happy about this. I'm super sad, about that, because Dave Bautista is an unbelievably gifted actor. He's done some amazing work, but I think when somebody makes a statement like that, the important thing is to try and look at things from their perspective. So I guess he doesn't want to be just lumped in as another wrestler in a movie, and by putting himself with other wrestlers, they'd be like, "Oh, this is the movie with the wrestlers in it."
Yeah, he wants to do his own thing, make his own mark.
Exactly. Yeah. So it makes sense, but it is kind of disappointing, and I think Cena says the same thing. It's kind of disappointing that he's not gonna be in a movie with Cena at any point, because I think that would be fun. Yeah. But it is disappointing. Very disappointing. It does kind of make sense, Stelios. Yes. Welcome in, Tamsin. Hello, how are you doing? Giving out your hugs.
Hug.
It's become a very Bailey NXT stream. Hugs for everyone.
Hugs for everyone.
Okay, so now the news really kind of picks up. And pretty much mirrors things we've been saying for the last few weeks. Have we talked about Adam Cole yet? We're not going to talk about Adam Cole, other than to say his contract has expired, and we don't know where Adam Cole is next. It's true, he did not immediately join the Smackdown roster. That doesn't mean he hasn't signed a new contract with WWE. Also, he might turn up on Dynamite next week, or he might take a few months off. Who knows? But we're not talking about Adam Cole because we know nothing. We don't really have any news other than the contract has expired. We don't know what direction he's gone in, so we'll watch this space on Adam Cole. But the Adam Cole thing may not help with this. WWE is reportedly in the doghouse with both of its TV networks. So Fox, that airs SmackDown, USA Network, that airs Raw and NXT, are not very happy. And for Fox, at least, it centers around the return to wrestling of CM Punk. Fox, the home of SmackDown, is none too pleased that WWE didn't make Punk a huge offer to return to the company and let them walk to their competitor. Right. Well, do you have any comments about that first before I chime in?
What about CM Punk?
I think not signing with WWE.
I think CM Punk wasn't going to sign with WWE anyway.
Yes.
Just no matter what they did, I don't think he was going to sign.
So I understand where Fox is coming from. I'd be pretty disappointed too if I turned on a competitor network, especially on cable. Fox is a broadcast network. But I'd be annoyed if I turned on, saw that reaction, saw how the ratings for AEW are going up and up and up, and it seems on the surface that WWE didn't make any kind of play to try and get CM Punk back. However, you and I and WWE all the way up to Vince McMahon knows that it didn't matter how much money they threw at CM Punk, he was not coming back.
He wasn't.
And while Fox are like, well, we, offered him a job and he came immediately. Like, yes, he came to Fox.
Yeah, it wasn't to WWE.
Yeah.
It was to Fox.
I think
that
if you kind of look at what Punk said on his debut on Rampage a few weeks ago, it's pretty clear he was never going to sign again with WWE because he had a contract with WWE and he walked out on it because he was grossly unhappy. And it was destroying his mental health, in his own words. So he was saying, says Stelios, that if the storyline was good and money was good, he would have come back. It's easy to say that. And maybe he's just piling on WWE. It's like, yeah, you could have had me, but you didn't. So, yeah.
I reckon he's just doing it just to wind Vince McMahon up, effectively.
Mm-hmm. So, in retaliation to CM Punk, WWE rushed back Brock Lesnar and have had the return of Becky Lynch. But where have they both gone?
To SmackDown.
So obviously, the USA Network are not very happy that SmackDown is getting all the star power at the moment.
SmackDown's going to be banging.
And this is on top of the fact that they've had, Roman Reigns for the last year be on that turn and be a sole reason why it's worth watching SmackDown. Even now with 3.5 people on the roster and Roman Reigns, it's still worth watching SmackDown. SmackDown is still the better show, even though they don't have any talent signed. So, meanwhile on Raw, the show features The Miz and John Morrison fighting over a water gun. Yeah. Raw has been bad for a long time.
Very bad.
It's been nearly unwatchable for a very long time. So I unlike Fox, I don't get what their beef is. Like, get over yourselves. But I completely understand why USA are pissed. I would be too.
Yeah. We're going to have fun talking about Raw later then, aren't we?
Well, we are, yes. And not only because of this news, but our last bit of news, Vince McMahon reportedly angry and loud at Monday Night Raw. And this is just... wow. You may have noticed that the Raw that we got last night was different from the Raw that they advertised throughout the last week, as recently as on SmackDown, teasing certain matches. This merits reading in full. So, Vince McMahon was said to be, quote, angry and loud amid creative changes on Monday's Raw taping. The afternoon was described as a crazy day backstage in Oklahoma City, as there were lots of changes being made to plans for the show. In an update, Monday was described as one of the longest days in a long time for the WWE creative team. McMahon was extremely unhappy with the original plans for Raw. He ripped up the script several times during the day, including the original plans and then the initial rewrite. He then began requesting new creative ideas, some of which were said to be good and others not so good. Vince still rejected everything pitched to him before decreeing the new plans that ended up airing on the USA Network broadcast. McMahon was said to be the loudest and angriest one source had ever seen him on a show day. It was noted that there was no official direction or plan for last night's Raw until 6 p.m. Eastern. Coming out of last week's show, and this is what we just said, WWE had 3 matches advertised for last night's Raw. The Miz vs. John Morrison, Eva Marie vs. Doudrop, and WWE Champion Bobby Lashley vs. Sheamus in a non-title bout. Miz vs. Morrison was removed from the Raw preview before Monday morning. Marie vs. Doudrop ended up being an angle and not an actual match, yes. And Lashley vs. Sheamus never happened, as Sheamus faced Drew McIntyre and Damien Priest in a US title match, while Lashley teamed with MVP to challenge for the Tag Team Championships. More on that later. At one point, Priest was scheduled to defend against McIntyre in a singles match, but Sheamus was added during the rewrites. So, this seems to me to be a direct response to the networks being unhappy.
Yeah.
He's come into the day pissed off.
Yeah.
And the first thing he cancelled was the fighting over a water gun segments.
Good.
The Miz and Morrison. Yeah, cool. I mean, I was ready for the Miz versus John Morrison, to be fair. But whatever. We didn't even see the Miz on Raw in the end. But this happened. And we're going to put a pin in it.
Yeah.
Because when we're going to talk about SmackDown as we always do, we'll talk about Raw, and then at the end, we'll have a little chat.
Little chat.
Do we think that the show that we got as a result of these changes was better than what we were going to get in the original plan? Obviously, we don't know the full script, but we kind of have the idea of what it was going to be based on the matches that were booked. So,
yeah. Oh.
So there we are. We'll come back to it. That was the news.
Da-da-da, dun, 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 dun.
That's not going to get old. Very nice too. Right. So let's get started then with a bit of Friday Night SmackDown. Do you want to kick off the proceedings?
I shall indeed. So, Friday Night SmackDown kicked off with the new SmackDown Women's Champion, Becky Lynch. She spoke passionately about how leaving and giving up her title was the most difficult decision of her life, but went on to say that now with her new priorities in life, she is more dangerous than she has ever been. Becky also addressed her tactics at SummerSlam, mock apologising for them before commenting that WWE is all preparation and opportunity, and that with all the work she's done in the past, she was absolutely prepared for the opportunity to take the title at SummerSlam. This brought out the former champion Bianca Belair, who challenged Lynch to a rematch that very night. It wasn't that simple, obviously, and out came Selena Vega, Carmella, Liv Morgan to stake their claims to number one contendership. Bianca took control of the situation again, challenging the man a second time, but Lynch simply replied, "Nah."
Nice way to start SmackDown.
Yes.
I think it lends itself a little bit to what I was saying last week, and that we know the way that we're using this Becky Lynch return and the naivety of Bianca Belair. I think it is going in that direction. So,
yeah, I think it is.
So we seem to be on a good path there. Mm-hmm. What did you think about Becky Lynch's promo and her just saying, "No thanks, I don't need to wrestle you"?
I thought it was quite good, actually. It's basically her going, "This is what you could have done at SummerSlam." Just go, "Nah."
Yep. Look how easy it is to just say, "No thank you, not going to wrestle you."
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
See you later. This is what you should have done. That's exactly right. That's the best way of putting it. So this heel turn is coming. It's never going to be a quick thing because she's just come back from having a baby, for God's sake. She's a difficult person to boo. But if she is, systematically cowardly and keeps now using, cheating or underhanded tactics to keep her championship and stay away from credible contenders like Bianca Belair, then eventually the fans will get sick of that. I've got a question for the release. Was it only Vince or all Vince and Triple H and Stephanie? For CM Punk, are we talking? Because he wasn't ever released. They just let his contract expire, basically.
He didn't renew his contract. Basically.
He no-showed, and then I think he had like a year and a half left on the contract that he just didn't meet, basically. Yeah, the most recent release is budget cuts. It was all Vince McMahon and upper management. Triple H and Stephanie may have had a part in it, but Triple H Mainly works with the younger talent on NXT, and even the NXT releases apparently he had nothing to do with. There is a power struggle going on, and Triple H is losing apparently.
Yeah. But now they're all going all bright and colourful. Of course, he's losing.
It is sad. Yeah. Rest in peace, NXT. So that was how we started, but it progressed from there. After Becky Lynch took her leave, the other 4 ladies were left in the ring, and a fight broke out, which turned into a fatal 4-way elimination match to try and determine who Becky Lynch's next contender would be. Zelina Vega and Carmella were eliminated quickly, and the match came down to Bianca Belair and Liv Morgan. After a good match between the two of them, Bianca sealed the deal with a KOD to officially become the new number 1 contender to the SmackDown Women's Championship.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how I feel about the rigmarole.
Yeah.
I mean, I like that she had to earn back her shot.
Yeah.
But it's a bit quick. I feel like there should have been more obstacle to it. And maybe there will be. Maybe be like, okay, yeah, she won this fatal 4-way, says Becky, but I'm still not going to face her yet.
Yeah.
She hasn't really earned it. She beat these scrubs, fine. But maybe she can face my hand-picked opponent.
Yeah.
Like Charlotte. Bring Charlotte over in the brand-to-brand invitational thing, maybe.
Oh, yeah.
Just put some obstacles in her way. But if this is it, if it's just, she beat these guys and now she's going for the title again.
A bit boring.
It is a bit boring, and I don't think Belair's going to win it back in her first attempt, so it's not going to help her.
I have a feeling this is going to be one of those ones where we get very bored because it will just be Becky Lynch versus Bianca Belair for a long old time.
Over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Yeah, and one thing that I haven't put in the notes to discuss, but is a thing, and is a weird thing, Naomi is being moved to SmackDown.
Yeah.
But the story is that Sonya Deville doesn't want her, or isn't too concerned that she's there. Like there was that backstage segment, and they were talking like, "Yeah, oh, are you okay? Right, yeah, okay. Well, we'll talk later. I'm busy right now."
Yeah,
it's a bit weird, and in a time immediately after people are complaining, like, yeah, you had your white meat babyface come back and beat the person of color in 26 seconds or whatever it was. Doesn't have a particularly good look. To then go, oh yeah, this former champion black female superstar is returning to the brand, and the white management doesn't care and isn't interested. It's not the best look.
No,
so
not at all.
Hopefully we can either drop that or get some more out of it.
Yeah.
Because it's not doing it for me right now. But that's the women. That's pretty much all the women we got on SmackDown.
Yeah.
And we'll move on to the men.
Yeah, so looking for payback for being locked in the big swing, Chad Gable took on Cesaro. The pair put on a technical wrestling clinic in pursuit of victory, but a victory for his coach was not on the mind of Otis, who ended the match abruptly, causing a disqualification. Gable held Cesaro down on the mat as Otis took flight with a massive splash from the middle rope to leave the Swiss Cyborg laying.
I liked it. I like this. I like the direction it's going in. I'd like to see Otis and Cesaro just be unleashed and have a match, because despite his size, Otis is no scrub. He can definitely go.
Oh, he can go.
I guess maybe that's what we'll see for Keith Lee, is this kind of Otis style character.
Yeah.
It's not an original character. Big Mango Smash. That's basically the premise. But
The Hulk.
yeah, it is. But it's not even a "Don't make me angry." It's a "I'm constantly angry because I'm big and grr." So it's not inspired, but it works for Otis right now.
Yeah.
Especially because he's got Gable by his side.
Yes.
Adds him that level of credibility. So, yeah. Let's have Gable there, but not get involved, as these guys have a potentially 5-star match and 5-star rivalry. Yeah. This was a fantastic match between Gable and Cesaro. They really showed off what they can do. And I'm glad that Chad Gable still has a job in WWE, because he does not fit what WWE are looking for right now. So
yeah, short.
Yeah, he's under 6'4", so he's not really WWE material, but he's definitely wrestling material. So hopefully they continue to let him wrestle on their shows. That would be wonderful.
Keep it going.
And then from there, who knows? Maybe we see Otis challenge for the Intercontinental title. Maybe these guys get back into the tag team picture.
That'd be cool.
But this is a very young story, despite it having gone for about 6 months now. The Alpha Academy. I see big things, as long as they keep them in the direction that they're going, and not just bottle it and pull out of it at the last second.
Yeah.
And next, it was the moment that we've been waiting for, especially you, Dan. I know that you're really excited about this, especially the name. After arriving in style in a beautiful Bentley, we were introduced to Happy Corbin, whose fortunes turned around this past week in Las Vegas. Corbin took his last $35 after his loss at SummerSlam and won big, making him, quote, the happiest man in the world. Corbin then called out Big E, apologised for stealing his Money in the Bank briefcase, and attempted to buy it. Big E declined and instead tried to wind up Corbin, but he failed, finally got annoyed himself by the happy guy, and invited Corbin to leave before he knocked the happy smile off his face. Nothing was going to bring Happy Corbin down, and Corbin took his leave. Happily.
Yeah.
Happy Corbin.
Happy Corbin.
The trademark was filed. We reported it here on this podcast a few weeks ago. Happy Corbin is a thing.
All I gotta say is that entrance music.
It's great, right?
It was funny. I just found it funny.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be fun because, like, you don't think of Baron Corbin as happy about anything, to be honest. He very rarely has a smile on his face. And so they're forcing this guy who, naturally, wrestling aside, is quite an unlikable, gruff kind of dude. Doesn't like people very much. And now he's got to be happy all the time and isn't going to let even the most obnoxiously happy of baby faces knock him off his pedestal, which is cool.
Right.
Yeah.
It'll be funny.
It will be entertaining. I'm not sure what, again, as with all of this, I'm not sure what direction it can go in, but they seem to be doing all right with it so far, so I'll just sit back and enjoy, basically.
Yeah. Sit back, enjoy. Have a drink.
Speaking of lucky streaks, it seems that Tamsinaki is on a bit of a lucky streak with the Acorns in the chat. She's won a Battle Royal. She's won some slots. She's going for the star. We'll see how that gets on there. But it's a nice point to remind that it's the last day of the month. Yep. And so it's the last day to win yourself a gift sub to this channel by winning the Acorn competition. Duff Valley is leading currently. But he's not here, so with some careful Happy Corbin style gambling, you could knock him off his pedestal and get yourself a Bentley, a cool looking hat, and rename yourself Happy, whatever your name is.
Happy Tamsin.
Happy Tamsin, yeah.
There you go.
But we will, in the meantime, while Tamsin wins more money from the slots, we'll crack on with SmackDown.
We'll keep going. So, a strange night for the Bloodline began with Paul Heyman unable to get into Roman Reigns' locker room before being confronted by the Usos, who accused Heyman of knowing that Brock Lesnar would be at SummerSlam. Heyman was rattled by this all night and even tried to hand Reigns his title backstage to not join him in the family celebration, but the tribal chief assured his wise man that he was family. In the ring, Heyman got back into top form, inviting the crowd not only to acknowledge the tribal chief, but also the Usos as well. Heyman went on to invite the crowd to celebrate that they had seen enough, thanks to the Universal Champion, but the party was interrupted by Finn Balor, who said he wouldn't wait in line anymore and was challenging Reigns to a title match next week on SmackDown. Balor was jumped and triple teamed by the Street Profits. Made the save,
full stop. Yeah, I don't know why I put an and at the end of that sentence. Sorry about that. Trying to confuse the dyslexic, as I always do. Yeah, so I think they have actually signed this match for this week on SmackDown. Is it a thing?
No.
I think so.
I don't know. Yeah.
let's have a look.
For Google.
There was an advert on Raw last night, but I'll be honest, I didn't really pay attention to it. Yeah, I'm not sure. One day ago, yeah, Universal Championship match advertised: Reigns versus Balor for the Universal Championship in Jacksonville, Florida. So that is a thing. It is official. This match is happening. Before we discuss the actual events of SmackDown, can I just say I need that Bloodline t-shirt yesterday. That thing is great, and I want it now.
Buy it.
I've been watching Roman Reigns' merch, and I'm like, no, don't like that one. That head of the table one with the Superman punch and that looks terrible. Like, that's for 4-year-olds. Not keen on that one.
Yeah.
And then he had that wreck everyone and leave. I'm like, getting better, but no, I'm still not.
I quite like that one.
Still not doing it for me. But then this Bloodline one with like the Godfather style imagery of him with Heyman and the Usos by his side, money all over the table, the title on the table, all black and white. I'm like, yeah, that's my t-shirt. Just hook it straight into my veins. I'm going to need to place an order for that now.
SmackDown tag team titles are on the table as well.
Oh, were they? I didn't even notice that.
Yeah.
Nice.
They're like at the sides, going up the side a little bit.
Cool. Yeah.
It's like, yep.
Yep.
That's good.
Yeah, that's the t-shirt. And you will see that on my body on this show at some point in the future.
I don't know what it says on the back. I think it says something on the back.
I hadn't even considered that.
I'm going to Google that right now.
On the back. Let me, if it's on the shop, we can bring it up on the stream and have a look. It is. The Bloodline, We the Ones.
Right there.
Right,
Top for pre-order. It just says We the Ones on the back.
I'm okay with that. Here we go. Dun, 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 dun. There it is. £21.61 from WWE Shop. Does that change if I change the size? Because sometimes it does. No, that's okay. Yeah, I will be purchasing a large. This item will begin shipping on September 17th. That's too far away. So there's the front of the t-shirt.
You see the SmackDown tag team titles.
Oh yeah, I didn't see them. They are there. They're right there, but they were blended in. I dig that. And I love when they do this. It's especially good when they do it in moving video. They turn everything black and white apart from one color.
Yeah.
And red is the color they normally do it with. And this is cracking.
It suits the name, the Bloodline.
Mm-hmm.
Red. So
yeah, it's a line of blood coming from his top. I don't know what's going on behind the head here. And why he's got a bit of red there. They should probably have black and white.
Oh no, that's his hair, isn't it?
Oh yeah, his hair is red at the back. I forgot about that. Yeah. Yeah, so there's the
What's
front.
happened?
Here's the back. Yeah, it says "We the Ones." Yeah, whatever. I don't care. I don't care
Still
about the back.
want it.
It's the front. The front is what I'm after. And I've
You're
just
still
spotted down
getting it.
here,
Yeah.
head of the table shorts and head of the table sunglasses. That's check. You know, I might as well add some extra things to my basket.
Yeah, let's have a look
Check
at them.
this out.
Oh, look at them. Look at
They're
those bad
sunglasses.
boys.
They just say head of the table on them.
That's cool.
Oh, this description. Marrying fashion and function. Cutting-edge pair of sunglasses protect your eyes from the elements while simultaneously elevating your look. Throw some shade
Absolutely.
with a pair of our superstar sunglasses and do summer right.
Oh, cry.
Oh, and on the
You'll
other
be rocking
side,
some
I
of
didn't
them.
even notice, it's got 4 stars and the Roman Reigns logo.
Oh, great.
Yeah, wonderful.
You're going to be getting some of them, aren't you?
I am, yeah. Either that or the... that's the other T-shirt. The Stash 'em, Smash 'em, Stack 'em, Pin 'em T-shirt, yeah. I wasn't so keen on that one either.
Oh.
Well, there you go. Well, breaking news.
Yeah.
Breaking news. Tamsinaki now leads the Acorn Battle.
Ooh.
She has... how does the phrase go? I've only read it a second ago. She has smashed them, stacked them, and pinned them. And earned her way to the top of the table. Unless anything changes in the next half an hour before this show ends, she will earn herself a gifted subscription.
She will be the head of the table.
She will be the head of the table. Happy Tamsin is coming.
Happy Tamsin.
We're filing the trademark right now.
Yep.
That's coming. Don't know where we're going to get the hat. Tamsin, you might have to sort your own hat out, but you're rolling in dough now, so it's fine. You can do that.
You have to go find a posh car.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be a Bentley. It just has to be a bit posh. You'll make one. There you go. Yeah, make it out of money. Just to stay on brand.
Here comes the money.
She's still got a hype train badge as well, so just absolutely rolling in it. So, I digressed with the T-shirt, but what did you think of the events of SmackDown involving the Bloodline?
I thought it was interesting and good. I can see why the Usos were accusing Paul Heyman of knowing Brock Lesnar was going to be there, so that kind of adds a bit of mystery to it.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if Heyman will stab Reigns in the back.
It could go that way. I mean, Reigns has been totally on board with Heyman throughout this. You know, saying, "You are family, I love you. Like, what are you doing out here? Get in here with us," all that kind of stuff. So he seems to be on board, but this is Roman Reigns we're talking about. And in the last year, a year as champion now, that we have ticked over that 365th day, he has been Universal Champion for over a year.
Yeah.
He has been known to change his mind on a whim, shall we say. And if he does feel betrayed, as this Brock Lesnar situation rolls on, then yeah, maybe we do see a change. But I hope not. I really hope not. Especially as I'm going to own a T-shirt with Reigns and Heyman on it. Really hope that they keep them together, because I think the partnership works better than it did with Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
Because it is more of a partnership. Although, you know, Heyman is still the doting, kind of subservient dude. Like, here you go, my tribal chief. Yes, my tribal chief.
Yeah.
Like, totally submissive to Roman Reigns. But I feel like this Roman Reigns doesn't exist without Paul Heyman. Whereas, as we've already seen, Brock Lesnar's just fine without Heyman.
Yeah.
Like, as much as a good and fantastic and brilliant mouthpiece Heyman was for Brock Lesnar, you could also just have him not say anything and just speak with his actions, and i.e. turn up, smash people, and leave.
Yeah.
He doesn't need to talk.
No, he doesn't.
And he used to do his own promos. Maybe he can learn to talk again if he really needs to.
Yeah. We can.
It's not 2012 anymore. We should be able to hand Brock Lesnar a mic and him just not swear. And they're allowing a bit of swearing anyway, so maybe just let him swear a bit.
Let him go for it.
Yeah. What do you think of the Balor thing and bringing Finn Balor back up to the title?
I think that'll make a good match next week, I think. So,
it'll be a good match. I just think it's throwaway, and I'm not keen on throwaway.
I wonder if Brock Lesnar will get involved next week.
He could do. The rumour on the new contract for Lesnar is that it's 8 to 12 matches between now and 2023.
Oh.
Which is a large portion of next year and what's left of this year, to be fair.
Yeah.
Like, if it's 12, that's every pay-per-view in 2022.
Yeah.
So I get that they're putting Finn Balor in there as a kind of buffer in between, but is it really necessary, or can we just get straight to Reigns and Lesnar at Extreme Rules? And how do the TV appearances work? Okay, that's 8 to 12 matches, but how many appearances
appearing on TV?
Building to it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm worried that Finn is just thrown in there as a stopgap, as a jobber to Reigns, to just give him another person to annihilate, which is unnecessary. Like, we can remember all of the people that Reigns has annihilated up to this point. You can play a replay. We don't need another person buried. When we could have Finn Balor versus Shinsuke for the IC title, or Finn Balor versus anyone on that roster, and have cracking entertainment from it. So don't destroy Finn Balor just to put another notch in the bedpost for Reigns.
Yeah,
is my only concern there, but we shall see. We'll see what happens on SmackDown this week. We're going to commercial. When we come back, we're going to get Raw. And we'll see if Vince McMahon's last-minute changes to the script made Raw a better, more watchable show. Smiley faces and optimism. Be right back. That's not a smiley face. Welcome back to the main roster on this last day of August, the year 2021. In case you're listening to this in the year 2027, this is what life was like in 2021. We discussed Raw and Smackdown. Who knows if Raw and Smackdown are still a thing in 2027? Who knows if we're all alive in 2027? If we are, we'll probably digress just as much as we have already, and I just did.
I'd say that was a bit of a digress, wasn't it?
It was a bit, yeah. I've kind of lost the plot a little bit. But let's get into Monday Night Raw. Rewritten at the last minute by Vince McMahon. So obviously it's going to be fantastic, right? It's straight from the brain of Vince McMahon, this show.
I'll come back to you on that one.
So this Vince McMahon special, Monday Night Raw, got underway with Damien Priest, who spoke about his respect for the United States Championship and that he would be reinstating an open challenge like some of the great champions before him. Sheamus answered the call first, followed by Drew McIntyre and the almighty WWE Champion Bobby Lashley. MVP suggested that Lashley challenge for the title and become a double champion. This brought out the Raw Tag Team Champions RK Bro, who said that Lashley was greedy because he wanted 2 championships. But before he could finish the thought, Riddle interrupted him and challenged Lashley and MVP to face them for the tag titles if he wanted 2 belts so badly. Oops. MVP accepted the challenge, and a triple threat match between Priest, Sheamus and Drew McIntyre was also booked for later in the night. Raw opening on a scale of 1 to 10. Go.
I don't know, about 3.
Didn't dig it?
No, not really. It's kind of a bit everything was happening at once.
There was a lot of everything was happening at once. There was no explanation about why Sheamus and Bobby Lashley were no longer going to be facing each other in the main event, and has been advertised for a week.
Yeah.
But I clearly enjoyed it a lot more than you. If it had happened in isolation rather than when other things had already been advertised, it would have been better, I grant you. But it was a good opening for my money. I liked the idea that Sheamus was obviously trying to come and get his title back. That makes sense. Drew McIntyre can't go for the WWE Championship, so yeah, go for the US title. That makes sense. Even Bobby Lashley coming out and saying, yeah, I'll face you because I could do with having 2 championships. That sounds good to me. I even liked that.
Yeah.
And then the tag team champions coming out. It lost the plot a little bit there for me. But the idea that Riddle kind of derped his way into having to defend the title against the world champion and his buddy was a bit funny as well. So overall, I like the opening. I'd give it a 7 out of 10 myself.
Okay.
So off to a good start for me, not so much for you.
No, not much for me.
Yeah. Let's progress and see if it rises in your estimation or falls in mine.
Yeah. So the opening contest on Raw saw Rhea Ripley, who was accompanied by Nikki SH, take on Shayna Baszler, as always accompanied by Nia Jax. As the match rolled on, Nia Jax attacks Nikki ASH outside the ring, which distracted Ripley enough to be rolled up by Baszler. Baszler couldn't get the win though, as Ripley countered the pin into one of her own and held down the Queen of Spades for a 3 count. After the match, Nia Jax continued her carnage and left Rhea Ripley laying in the ring too.
Why does Vince hate Shayna Baszler?
I don't know. Why does he like Nia Jax?
He clearly does, and he's not even just Vince, but Vince and whoever had been writing the show for the last 6 weeks clearly just wants to bury Shayna Baszler.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that they like the idea of her being called the Queen of Spades either.
No.
I think it's a bit close to just the Queen for Charlotte, and
yeah.
so it was said once and then it wasn't said again, and I'm like, that's somebody has had a telling in an ear, I think.
And somebody said, "Don't you do that, damn it!
Don't call her that, damn it. There's only one Queen, Charlotte Flair,
Golden Child."
So, the team of Rhea Ripley and Nikki ASH, not doing it for me. Shayna Baszler losing easily, not doing it for me.
Not doing it for you.
Nia Jax being the aggressor or the victor in that team as they start to break up, but yet Shayna Baszler did nothing about it. Nia Jax basically cost her the match, but Shayna Baszler just, went again, just continued to be dejected. Like, break up the team already. If you don't like it, get the hell out of there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this segment left me disappointed. I would give this the 3 that you gave the opening.
Yeah, I'm still giving it a 3.
3's all round. Not much fun.
3's all round.
This is pretty much the entire women's roster on Raw now as well. Or at least it is once you include the champion that we are going to see later. The only person still missing from the situation is Asuka. And they've shipped off Naomi to SmackDown. So this is what we're coming into, folks. This is what we can expect for months.
Women's Evolution, guys.
And later in the night, Nia Jax turned her warpath towards Raw Women's Champion Charlotte Flair. Jax dominated the champion until Charlotte managed to trap Jax in the ropes and wear her down with a headlock and a vicious head snap on the middle rope. Charlotte put up a good fight against her larger, stronger opponent and went to lock in the figure 4. However, Jax kicked Flair off and head first into the turnbuckle. She followed this up with a powerbomb and pinned Charlotte to earn herself a victory over the Raw Women's Champion.
Why?
Why, indeed? Especially because it was only last week that I said, me, person who does not like Charlotte Flair or anything that she stands for, said, I'm kind of digging this Charlotte Flair and that she's going to hold on to the championship and just basically go and beat everyone for the next year and a half. And then immediately, it's like, oh, Jez likes her? Okay, let's fix that. And immediately she loses to Nia Jax. And it just seems,
who to be honest, in that match looked a bit clunky.
Both of them looked bad, actually.
Yeah.
It's like Nia Jax dragged Charlotte down to her level. But Charlotte just looked slow and cumbersome. And it just looked like she was worried to get hurt all the way through the match. Yeah. The first time that Jax held her up for the powerbomb, Charlotte put her leg out so to land on the back of her heel before taking the bump, because she probably knew that otherwise Nia Jax should throw her straight on the top of her head and break her neck.
Yeah.
This was not a shining example of wrestling for either of these women. And Charlotte Flair, as much as I dislike her, is one of the best women's wrestlers in the world, and she looked terrible. And I don't think that was Charlotte's fault.
No.
Just bad. Bad.
Yeah.
What else was I gonna say? I've forgotten now. I was in the middle of a thought, but it's gone. Never mind. This is just what happens with these guys. Yeah. Oh, that's it. This continues a trend that has happened pretty much since Charlotte was last champion, of the Raw Women's Champion losing a lot of matches all the way through to defending the title. So is Charlotte going to lose the belt again soon to Nia Jax? Make Nia Jax a one-time... Oh no, did she win the belt before? She did win the belt before.
She's won the Raw Women's Championship before.
Clearly it was very memorable because I almost forgot about it.
Right.
Maybe we'll do that again. Vince's answer to the women's division is not really working, is to push Nia Jax, apparently.
Shoot me now.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. We'll share a bullet. Efficiency.
Yeah. Should we get on to something else that's a bit...
Yeah, well, we can try. We can try and...
God.
Yeah, this show, the Vince McMahon special, is... I think we're still at 3 out of 10 at the moment.
So, Karrion Kross looks to continue to stack up wins on the main roster this week, taking on Humberto Carrillo. Pretty Boy didn't put up too much of a fight, and Kross put away the youngster with a Sado suplex, followed by the cross jacket submission in his gimp gear.
In his gimp mask, yeah. It was pointed out to me after the show last week that it's basically the old Demolition ring gear from the 80s.
Oh yeah,
with the straps across the chest and the mask, and that's where it belongs. The 1980s.
Yep.
Yeah, I kind of understand it now. I just had a little epiphany as I was watching Raw. As he was. Did Karrion Kross's look kind of remind you of anyone? Just bald, goatee, black trunks, plain black trunks. Remind you of anyone?
Stone Cold?
That's one. Any others?
I can't think.
Think Stone Cold from the other company. I've just seen him recently.
Name escapes me.
Just lost to Bobby Lashley in a championship match.
Yes. Goldberg.
Yeah. I can't believe that name didn't come to you, and it was too fun
I don't know why
to let it go. Yeah.
I don't know why that came. Probably I've forgotten about him already.
So, yeah, I think Vince looked at Karrion Kross, because Vince doesn't watch NXT, let's be honest. So as soon as Karrion Kross was put in front of him, like, here, Vince, here's my latest call-up from NXT. Yep. What do you think? Like, he looks like a Stone Cold Steve Austin or Goldberg ripoff.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's the harbinger of doom. He welcomes Doomsday. He's like, he's got his wife with him. Like, she's super hot, and she sung his entrance theme. And they do this whole black and white thing. It's like death, like ashes, and all that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the entrance is cool. It's fantastic, and he's just a badass that smacks people about. It's going to fit in really well here. Ah, right, yeah. Well, we don't want her. We don't want his entrance. We don't want anything that makes him not Stone Cold Steve Austin and Goldberg, even though that's what I've noticed he looks like. So let's send him to the ring as a basic creator wrestler, and we'll just see if he can get over on his own. Okay, Vince, right, let's do that. Oh, he didn't get over on his own? Okay, right. Well, how come he still looks like Stone Cold Steve Austin and still looks like Goldberg. Oh, right, yeah, okay. Well, maybe we can put some straps on his on him and give him a mask. Yeah, great idea. Okay, do that. Great. Yeah. It doesn't look like Stone Cold anymore.
No, it doesn't.
Doesn't look like Goldberg anymore.
He looks like a swinger.
Yeah. Yeah, he looks like a remnant of an okay tag team from the 80s.
Yeah.
That's got stuck in a sex party since 1989.
Yeah. Mind you, some of the stuff that Scarlett used to wear on NXT.
Yeah. Yeah. With the claws and... Yeah. That looked like it came out of a sex dungeon, I'll give you that. Yeah.
Maybe that's the look they're going for.
Maybe it is that. Maybe eventually they'll bring Scarlett up and oh my god, this gimmick, this thing. Oh, I just like, we know what Vince is like. They are gonna be like sex pests or something.
It's just their entrance is just gonna be a red light.
Breaking news: Karrion Kross and Scarlett working dark matches as the sex pest perverts.
Oh, shall we move on?
Unsurprisingly, they get booed. Let's move on. So as we mentioned, we were getting a US Championship match. Damien Priest, Drew McIntyre and Sheamus. And in this match, Damien Priest picked up a huge victory. While it looked at one point that Sheamus might defeat Priest to win back his championship, Priest escaped Sheamus and caused Sheamus to be hit with McIntyre's Claymore, which allowed the US champion to hit the Reckoning on Drew and pin a former WWE champion to keep hold of his gold.
Now, I liked this section.
I did and I didn't.
Mm.
I liked that these three were in a match.
Yeah.
I liked the match. The match was good.
Yeah.
Are we really that high on Damien Priest already that he's going over the most recent, other than the current WWE champion? Clean?
Clearly.
That's a big step, man. It's a big step. He's just won the US title. He's already in the mix for the WWE Championship as well. He got in Lashley's face last week, and now he's beat the former champion. Like, slow down, guys.
All happening.
This is going a bit too fast for me.
Yeah.
Because they could have easily just have had him beat Sheamus again.
Yeah.
And leave it open for another go round with Drew McIntyre one-on-one maybe. But so both Charlotte, current Raw Women's Champion, was defeated.
Yep.
Most recent WWE Champion defeated.
Yep.
More to come later. Seems like an upside down kind of show. And they're trying to force too much of the idea that, well, expect the unexpected. Anything can happen on Raw. Doesn't even need to make sense. We just do things.
It just happened.
So I didn't dislike it, but just made me think, okay, right, yep, that happened. Do something with it, or this was a waste.
Yeah.
I will wait with bated breath about where that goes next.
Yeah, we'll have to see where it goes.
But considering this show was written on the back of a napkin with 10 minutes to spare, it's probably going nowhere.
Yes.
That would be my risk. Moving on.
Anyway, something missing from the show last night was the match between John Morrison and Miz. Instead, Morrison made the mistake of challenging the giant Omos to a match and immediately, unsuccessfully, tried to moisten the big man with a dripstick. This was about as much offense as he got the whole match, as Omos made easy work of him, eventually defeating him after the two-handed chokeslam. Following this match, AJ Styles defeated Xavier Woods with the calf crusher.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
So no Miz and Morrison.
Right.
Apparently we suffered through all of that dripstick nonsense for weeks to not get the payoff we wanted.
Yep.
Are we not getting it at all? Are we waiting for a pay-per-view? No explanation. Or they said the Miz chickened out. That was the explanation that we got, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Great. Thanks for that.
Yeah.
I liked Omos.
Yeah.
I liked his entrance. I wish they'd stop billing people at round numbers, like saying he is 400 pounds. Like, well, he's not going to be exactly 400 pounds, is he? You've already destroyed any credibility you have to his size. He's probably not 400 pounds. He's probably no bigger than like 320, if that.
Yeah.
So could have said like 407, 406. Yeah. Oh, just yeah. He weighs exactly 400 pounds until he takes a dump, and then he weighs 396.
A big dump.
Well, he's a big guy. He probably eats a lot. What goes in must come out, and all of that.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what Newton wrote about, right? That's the law of physics.
I think so.
For every cheeseburger, there is an equal and opposite dump burger.
Oh my god, that's a tangent.
Yeah, so, and then we had Xavier Woods just losing to AJ Styles. Filler. That was the match that happened.
That was the match that happened.
The match that happened included one of the greatest wrestlers in the world in AJ Styles.
Yeah.
It was a pointless match with a... It didn't matter who won. It was going to be a pointless outcome regardless. So, yeah, great. Thanks for that. And then that took us into Raw's main event, in which RK Bro defended the Raw Tag Team Championship against WWE Champion Bobby Lashley and MVP. AJ Styles and Omos remained at ringside following their matches and would be the difference in this contest. After Omos got hold of Randy Orton, AJ Styles had to intervene so not to cause a disqualification, but AJ Styles ended up laying next to the announce table for his troubles. This distraction allowed Orton to take out Lashley outside the ring, while Riddle hit the floating bro on MVP within the ring to retain the championships for his team.
Yeah.
Nice little match.
Yeah.
I did wonder how they were going to deal with it, because realistically, it should have ended with Lashley and MVP walking out with the championships.
Yeah.
They've got all the momentum right now.
Yeah.
But so they needed a way to keep the belts with RK Bro, but also not destroy the credibility of their world champion. Obviously, anybody losing on that side was going to be MVP. But how did you feel about the AJ Styles and Omos intervention?
Was it really necessary?
It's a bit of a cop-out, really, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. It would have been better if, we'd have seen a bit of the teamwork coming together a bit more for RK Bro, and they made a point of isolating Lashley, taking him out outside the ring so that they could capitalize on the weaker man in MVP. It just would have fit better with what's going on at the moment. I get that they needed to keep Styles and Omos relevant. They're going to have a rematch with them, I reckon. So one of these things was pointless and didn't make sense. The Omos versus John Morrison and Xavier Woods versus Styles segment. Either that was pointless because these guys are going back into another tag team title shot, or them being involved in this tag team title match because they're going to go and do single stuff against other people didn't make sense. So one of these things didn't make sense.
One of them didn't make sense.
Too much mixed together for me. And I suppose that segues us nicely into our last discussion. Did Vince's rewrite make the show better? Your thoughts first.
Taking everything into consideration, I just feel like it was just kind of a meh show. Just all things considered, just meh.
It wasn't any better than any Raw we've had for the last year.
No. Literally, it's just meh.
It had the same amount of confusing moments as your average Monday Night Raw. It certainly wasn't any better. And I just think that a show that is written at the last minute with so many changes and story that was changed, it was an exact product of that. It was incoherent. It had no kind of forward look to the future.
Yeah.
We haven't even started to consider what the matches look like at Extreme Rules for the main championships. We saw all three main championships tonight. The WWE Championship, the US Championship, the Tag Team Championship and the Raw Women's Championship. And yet, we're no clearer to knowing, really, other than Nia Jax versus Charlotte, maybe, what direction things are going in for the pay-per-view that's next up.
Yeah.
This didn't develop any story because it was just a filler.
Yeah.
So I think Vince would have been better off letting the show happen as was and then changing the direction of it going forward with a long-term plan in mind. But let's be honest, long-term planning is not the forte of WWE at the moment.
No.
And when you don't have long-term plans and you don't really know how to build the stars you've got anymore and how to use them effectively, this is why you get the USA Network down your throat complaining about how terrible the show is.
Yeah.
Do you reckon Vince thinks that the USA Network are happy after that?
No.
I think Vince probably thinks they are, but I don't think they actually are.
But I don't think they are.
Yeah. It's not a good show.
No.
I don't understand how Raw and SmackDown are produced by the same company, honestly.
The polar opposites.
They are. I want to watch SmackDown every week. I'm enjoying SmackDown, and I look forward to getting up on a Saturday morning and watching it. Raw, to coin a phrase, Raw is chore. It's a massive chore to watch it on a Tuesday. And if it wasn't for the fact that we discuss it on this show, I probably wouldn't bother. I'd read the results, watch any bits that sound interesting, but not bother.
Do you think we could get all the information we need from YouTube now?
Probably could. We probably could. Yeah.
I think they put the highlights out on YouTube, so...
Yeah, like rather than me actually going through and writing these notes, I could probably copy and paste it from a results website and just watch anything that sounds interesting. Like, nothing new is happening.
No.
Yeah, it's a big disappointment, and I hope it improves. A rumour is we're getting a draft at the end of September after Extreme Rules. They also said we were getting one this week after SummerSlam, and that hasn't happened. So who knows when we actually get it? But I hope that the USA Network really takes them to task, because this is nonsense. This show is. It's not like it can't be good as well. There is so much potential. There are so many good people still on the roster, despite them decimating it.
Yeah,
it's not without merit, but come on.
Come on, WWE.
I'm just glad that AEW are out there kind of raising the standard. And that's not to say that, I don't even know what I want to say here. That's not to say that they're better.
Yeah.
They still have their flaws. But at least one of their shows is entertaining each week. In parts.
Yeah.
But we'll move on to next week.
Yeah.
We'll be back next week to discuss it all. I will watch Raw in its entirety. I promise. Even though, I'll do it with probably one hand over my face, covering, hoping that it gets better. They've got a week now to plan it.
You got a week.
Yeah, they didn't need to do the rewrites on Monday. They've got a week to make this stuff better.
Got a week.
Get on it. Take some advice from some other people.
Yeah.
Hopefully some people will be fired. I think we're at that point where some people, the heads need to roll. And we need a decent show on Monday nights, because this ain't it.
Yeah.
This ain't it. But your decent show on Tuesdays moves next week to 4 p.m. UK time. Our new regular time, 4 p.m. UK time. And it will be broadcast not only on Twitch, but over a multitude of different channels and platforms.
Everywhere else. Stay
tuned for information on that. We're putting ourselves out there a bit more.
Yeah.
And you will hear about it all on the Discord channel that I've just dropped. Hop into the Primetime Streamer Network Discord so we can get all your news. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter. I'm at The Jez Show. He's at DannyT259 on Twitter. And hopefully you'll be able to find us next week when we discuss it all again, right here on the main roster.
And hopefully it's better.
Can't be worse, or Raw can't anyway.
Oh, I'm sure they can set the bar lower.
I've been Jez.
And I've been Dan.
And we'll continue to try and raise the bar here on the main roster. Bye-bye.
Bye.